Bill O'Reilly here, Monday, February 28th, 2022. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. Putin's war against Ukraine continues, of course. President Biden's approval rating falling to new lows. Donald Trump speaks with conservatives in Florida. COVID receding in all 50 states. Also ahead, should American citizens criticize Joe Biden during the Ukraine crisis? But first, leaders of Ukraine and Russia agreeing to tentative talks at the border with neighboring Belarus. After 5 days of fighting, Putin's army has failed to occupy any major city. Ukrainian President Zelensky claims his troops have killed 4,000 Russian invaders. The U.S. and EU will now expel Moscow-based banks from the global financial community. Europe also closing its airspace to all Russian planes. In response, Putin has placed his nuclear forces on high alert, but there is no doubt this is a travesty for Russia. New poll from ABC News says Joe Biden's job approval rating falling to a record low of 37%. 55% disapprove of the job Biden is doing. Half of voters want Republicans to take Congress next November. 40% prefer to stay with the Democrats. Respondents give Mr. Biden low marks on the economy, COVID, and foreign policy. Less than a third of voters support his handling of inflation. Mr. Biden will deliver his State of the Union address tomorrow evening. Donald Trump speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference, better known as CPAC, in Orlando, Florida. Mr. Trump teasing another run for the White House in 2024, saying, "We won it twice, we'll do it again." Other possible presidential candidates speaking at the GOP summit include Governor Ron DeSantis, Senator Ted Cruz, and Secretary of State formerly Mike Pompeo. The CDC easing its mask recommendations in most places. The agency dropping the mask in low-risk counties, that's roughly 70% of the country. Cases of COVID dropping sharply since January. The 7-day average now stands at 60,000 infections compared to 800,000 just 4 weeks ago. Researchers at Johns Hopkins say the less severe Omicron strain accounts for 99.9% of new cases. In a moment, some believe it is unpatriotic to criticize Joe Biden in these dangerous times. Right back with that. Hey, investors, listen up. Inflation and rate increases are forecasted, which will potentially stall stock market gains. But the experts say apartment building values and rent increases are up. Almost 6.8 million homes are needed in this country right now. You have heard me tell you about NRIA. They are building rental and condominium properties in high-demand, low-supply markets right now. I personally visited one myself in Florida. Their 15-year track record has been delivering competitive returns for investors. So, you might consider investing in a solid foundation and give them a call. 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414, or check them out at nria.net.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Is Putin just Biden his time? The Long Island newspaper Newsday calling for all Americans to rally around President Biden in the conflict with Russia. Its editorial on February 26 states, quote, "The undercutting of Biden by Republicans as he actively navigates armed conflict is shameful. The nation was stronger when domestic political squabbling ended at the water's edge," unquote. Squabbling? As a liberal newspaper, Newsday's analysis is to be expected. But what's happening in the USA and all over the world is far more than political disagreement. What we have here is a weak leader of the free world up against strong totalitarian killers in Russia, China, and Iran. In Ukraine, it's not really the Russian army against an independent country. It is Putin versus Biden mano a mano. While Newsday and other media that favor the Democrats look away from reality, wise Americans should not. We the people elected a weak man to lead us. Let's admit it. And now the country and the world are suffering. Putin's Hitler imitation was not caused by Joe Biden, but he enabled it by attacking the American energy industry, thereby handing the evil Russian dictator billions in cash. While Biden was surrendering to the climate change warriors, Putin supplied oil and coal to the world, most notably to NATO allies. So are we supposed to ignore this colossal mistake made by Biden pretty much all by himself? And even after the unforced era, the president still refuses to ramp up American energy production. What say you, Newsday? Joe Biden will likely go down in history alongside disastrous presidents like James Buchanan and Herbert Hoover. Buchanan did absolutely nothing to stop the gathering Civil War in the late 1850s, even allowing secessionists to loot federal arsenals, reminiscent of Biden Afghanistan. Hoover did not cause the Great Depression, again, just as Biden didn't cause Ukraine, but he sat there denying federal relief to starving Americans for 2 exceedingly painful years. That's what Herbert Hoover did. What Buchanan, Hoover, and Biden all have in common is failure to govern from strength. That's a fact. Should Americans ignore that fact at the so-called water's edge? It is true that some partisans will hammer the other side no matter what the circumstance, and that is destructive to our republic. But in order to stop destructive policies like open borders, rampant inflation, erosion of criminal justice, you can't just rally behind the guy who's responsible, even if Biden is trying to contain the homicidal Putin. As a concerned citizen of the world, I want Biden and NATO to crush Russia. But I also want to banish weak leadership going forward. Biden is the poster guy for policy failure. Rallying around that would be madness. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. Please check out BillO'Reilly.com for honest analysis in these dangerous times. In a moment, something you might not know. Supply chain issues have been a catalyst to bring high-tech manufacturing back to the USA. My tech guy, the founder of Brownstone Research, calls it the Great Recalibration and discusses it in his new newsletter, Near Future Report. For 35 years, Jeff Brown has helped his subscribers safely navigate volatile times to preserve and grow wealth. He also answers your most pressing questions like how to protect your retirement from inflation. What are the implications of a new digital currency and the Great Reset? What will the Fed do with interest rates? And what's going to happen in the stock market this year? Brownstone Research has been at the forefront of major market moves for 35 years. Let Jeff help you by signing up for his newsletter today at a 75% discount, a 12-month subscription, only $49. So please go to jeffbrowntech.com. jeffbrowntech.com, jeffbrowntech.com. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 39 years ago today, one of the most popular TV shows in America aired its final episode. 77% of all American households tuned in to watch the conclusion of MASH. Here is the story. Based on a 1968 novel by Richard Hooker and a 1970 film, the program was set during the Korean War. The title MASH is short for Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. The show premiered on CBS in September 1972. MASH quickly became a smash hit. Millions watched each week to see Alan Alda, Wayne Rogers, and the crew treat wounded American soldiers. Most storylines were critiques of America's ongoing war in Vietnam. In the middle of the show's tenure, Alan Alda took creative control, co-writing 13 episodes and directing more than 40. After 11 years on the air, 8 years longer than the Korean War itself, the series ended. On February 28, 1983, CBS aired the 2.5-hour finale. Titled Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, the plot chronicled the final days of the Korean conflict. After a ceasefire, the medics throw a party before taking down their camp for the last time. They then exchange cheerful goodbyes, go their separate ways. In total, MASH consisted of 256 episodes. The show won 14 Emmys, 9 Golden Globes, and was honored with a Peabody Award for excellence in broadcasting. The 1970 original film starring Elliott Gould, Donald Sutherland, and Sally Kellerman was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. It won Best Screenplay. Ms. Kellerman died just last week at the age of 84. And here's something else you might not know. The finale of MASH was the most anticipated event in television history. 125 million people watched. That's 53% of the entire U.S. population back in 1983. CBS sold 30-second commercial blocks to advertisers for $450,000 each, more than NBC charged for ads during the Super Bowl at that time. Back after this. There are some things we can all agree on, like the value of a good night's sleep. That's why I personally recommend Cozy Earth sheets. It's like sleeping on a cloud. Made from super soft vicose from bamboo, Cozy Earth sheets help you sleep at the perfect temperature all year round. I really like mine. So stop missing out. Discover why thousands of customers have left 5-star reviews. Cozy Earth even offers a 100-night sleep trial. This means you have up to 100 nights to sleep on it. Wash it. Try it out. If you're not satisfied, just send it back for a full refund. Cozy Earth sheets now come in 4 brand new natural colors. Plus, my audience can save 35% on Cozy Earth bedding. Hurry, offer ends soon. Just go to CozyEarth.com/Bill, save 35%. CozyEarth.com/Bill, CozyEarth.com/Bill. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.